Welcome everyone to the December 19th, 2022 Finance Committee meeting, last committee meeting of the year. Last finance committee meeting. Thanks, Jen. Boy, I've had Jen on her toes all day. Just some housekeeping notes. Please have your cell phones to either mute or on silent. And Mr. Johnson is joining us today via Zoom. For folks out in Zoom land, myself and Mr. Escabel are here. And with that, I will call on the clerk to please read the first item.
Number 6A, transfer ownership of retail liquor license application filed with the city clerk's office for Rail Spur LLC doing business as Rail Spur 707 West Lincoln Way, Cheyenne, Wyoming. License currently held by Get Bent LLC.
Staff report.
Mr. Chair, Chris Jones, City Clerk. The application before you is just a simple name change. The applicant intends to operate the business under the same pretenses in which they were awarded the retail liquor license under the Get Bent LLC name. It's just a formality for the entity. And I try to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Chris. Stand by. Comments from the public?
Morning, guys. Chad Willett, manager of Get Bent. As you stated, this is an entity change from Get Bent to the Rail Spur. We plan on getting our certificate of occupancy here in a couple days with our intent to be open to the public next week. For questions.
Thanks, Chad. Stand by. Any questions? Any other comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chairman, I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee?
Chair.
Mr. Escabel.
Chad, then when you open later on this month, what's your occupancy going to be? Currently rated at 220. Do you project down the road to increase? Down the road, it should increase with additional phases for our outdoor container park. Currently, our facilities that we planned for can hold up to 400 with our current fixtures as far as being within code compliance. That's all.
Other comments or questions from the committee? Well, Chad, I'd just like to say best of luck and you should be commended. I know that there was a lot of discussion when we did this process. It seems like a game show process almost back in March, just the way the state statutes are. But you were very confident in your presentation to council and kept your commitment to be open by the end of the year. So
Hopefully if we get CO, we'll be having some invites coming out this week to you guys for next week.
best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
There are no other comments or questions from the committee. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 19, resolution authorizing the execution of a promissory note to the state of Wyoming and an amount of $4,862,745 to fund fire pension A.
Staff report.
Stephanie Boster, Cheyenne City Attorney. What you have before you today is a resolution that gives the mayor the authority to sign this promissory note for $4,862,745. If you recall, about this time last year, we were able to, well, actually it was March of 2022. The legislature basically bailed out Fire A and the allocation to Cheyenne was $4.8 million. That Senate Enrolled Act number 6 gave the state treasurer the authority to designate the time and manner in which the city of Cheyenne was to pay back this debt. And the state treasurer's office came up with this promissory note. It's been negotiated pretty extensively by Casper and Cheyenne and also Rock Springs and Laramie, and everybody but Cheyenne has signed this promissory note. So we're bringing this in front of you and I'm available for questions.
Thanks, Stephanie. Stand by. Comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chairman, I move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from the committee?
Chair,
Mr. Escabel?
that was 10 years. We have 20.
Mr. Chairman, through your 20.
Other comments or questions from the committee? Well, we knew this was coming down the pike, and although I don't think anybody's celebrating necessarily about this, I think we all knew that this kind of was the reality. So all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
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 As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 20, resolution designating local banks as depositories for municipal funds.
Staff report. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Deputy City Treasurer Brenda Morrow. Wyoming statute 9-4-817 requires municipalities to keep their funds deposited in national banks and banks incorporated under the laws of the state. Annually, the city solicits local depositories for its interest in holding our funds. Banks currently holding our funds and those interested in our businesses are listed in the resolution before you.
Stand by. Comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chairman, I move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Comments from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
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 As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. Next item.
Number 20, fiscal year 2023 budget of the city of Cheyenne according to the provisions of Wyoming State Statute 16-4-112 and 16-4-113.
Staff report.
Hi, Robin Lockman, City Treasurer. Before you is the second reappropriation of the fiscal year. I provided a detailed memo to you already, but I'll quickly highlight the general fund reserve requests. The first request is for $5,258, and that will pay for the annual dues for the Cheyenne Leads Commercial Owners Association that covers the city's fire training facility. Chief Copper is available here if you have questions on that specific item. The second item is $210,258. That will pay for changes related to Kelly days in the fiscal year 23 collective labor agreement that was approved by the governing body back on November 28th. The third item is $7,500 for the city's contribution to the statewide municipality marketing campaign to approve Constitutional Amendment A, which you know was approved in this last general election. And then finally, $26,040 to pay for the contract that the city entered into recently with the University of Wyoming Center for Business and Economic Analysis. This project will evaluate the economic impact of city revenues for providing municipal water to Laramie County housing developments. Thank you, and I'll stand by for questions.
Thanks, Robin. Stand by. Comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from members of the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No one's opposed. That item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 24G, professional services agreement between the city of Cheyenne, Cheyenne Fire Department, and Time Clock Plus for scheduling software.
Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chairman White. Andrew Dexter, Division Chief Operations for Cheyenne Fire. Before you is a request for consideration to enter a multi-year contract with Time Clock Plus LLC for our scheduling software. The previous agreement approved by this governing body had legal language that needed to just be adjusted. Two main points from their end were the insurance requirements, in which their blanket policy may not name us specifically, however, the amount they carry exceeds our coverage requests. The second main point was the term and termination clause, which put us into a month-to-month contract, which is a higher actual monthly fee, which is what we were trying to avoid versus the year-to-year. The rest of the changes worked through with Time Clock Plus and City Attorney Boster seem to better align the agreement for a software product versus providing a service to us as a city. And stipulated some party responsibilities within the agreement as well. Ms. Foster can probably greatly expand from my limited legal understanding and explanation if required. The pricing quote is still found in Exhibit A for this agreement, and that pricing for the total of $31,868 has not changed for the next 2 years. So
Okay.
the quote still remains the same. We'll take any questions.
Thanks for that clarification. Comments or standby comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chairman, I move to approve in the amount not to exceed $31,868.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the professional services agreement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 25C, consideration of bid number S-7-23 for an agreement between the city of Cheyenne and High Plains Energy Incorporated, doing business as Pinnacle Electric and Construction Corporation for the Cheyenne Junior League Ball Fields Lighting Installation Project.
Staff report, please.
Chair Jason Sanchez, Community Rec Events. So the project we have before us is to put lights on all 9 fields at the Cheyenne Junior League baseball complex. The Cheyenne Junior League baseball complex accommodates baseball players and girls fast pitch players from the age of 8 to 18 years old. We have approximately 75 teams that are in that age group that utilize that complex. In 2022 alone, we had 863 reservations on the Cheyenne Junior League complex. And we're still not able to accommodate though all of the requests. As the community grows, so does the participation in all of our recreation programs. What we've done to accommodate most of the age groups over the years is we've skinned the infields on most of the complexes and added different distance base anchors so that we could accommodate the need. But what that does then is we put some of these youth groups on some of the fields that had historically been used for adult sports like Brimmer, Converse. And that's just because we can't meet all the needs at junior league. By adding these lights to this complex, we estimate we could add at least 144 additional games and practices to a complex. What this does is, and what our goal is to maximize the use of current facilities before we add more facilities to maintain to the city inventory. So this is an investment that should capture some of the demand without adding more baseball complexes to maintain. The funding mechanism, $1.5 million is ARPA funds, and the balance will come out of the community enhancement fees. And I'll stand by for any questions.
Thanks, Jason. Yes, please stand by. Comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chairman, I move to approve in the amount not to exceed $1,764,915.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from the committee?
When you're
Mr.
ready.
Escobar. We'll go with Mr. Escobar first and then Mr. Johnson next.
Well, I'm certainly glad to see that we are doing this. It's been a long time coming. Question I have, the 9 fields in they call it cloverleaf design.
Mhm.
So are those balls going to be the same height as what we have at Bremer and Converse? Because sometimes in cloverleaf designs, I'm sure the people that put it in, they make sure that the lights aren't shining into one of the other fields. So particularly like, say the shortstop would be looking into the lights from another field and could get blinded by a line drive or something. So
Mr. Chair, through you, that's correct. The company that will be installing this, they are experts in this field. They use Musco lighting. And they will be capturing lumens for every field in each direction, so they know how to point the lights. We share poles like at Bremer. There are poles that are shared at Converse currently. So it's one pole, but it may shine in 2 fields. So they'll take all of that into consideration. They install and set.
Mr. Johnson, you had a question?
Yeah, since this is ARPA, I ask this every single time. And I don't know if Jason can answer it, if it's Renee. So was this from the what I guess classified as the unencumbered, that this was the city's discretion and this one wasn't tied into any of the other technicalities that came with the ARPA funding.
Renee is shaking her head in the affirmative.
Very good, thank you.
Well, I'll just echo my colleague, Mr. Escabel's comments. I'm very excited for this project. I think it's going to really be a great addition for our current ball fields, and I'm happy to see that games will be able to be expanded, or the number of games that'll be able to be expanded. So thank you. If there are no other comments or questions, all those in favor of this bid consideration, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 20, for the replacement of the tracks and rollers on the undercarriage of a D6 Liebherr dozer utilized at the city of Cheyenne landfill.
Staff report.
Craig Lavoy, Public Works. Exciting project is the last, but it is definitely needed. Our D6 Liebherr is, they get about 4,000 hours out of each set of tracks and rollers. These have 4,500 on them, so it's time to change. Reason why it's a sole source with Power Equipment is they are the authorized dealer for Liebherr. And by keeping this, we still have 2 years of warranty that's available on the D6 itself. This looks, keep that valid. The new tracks will also have a 3-year, 4,000 hour warranty with it. So with those things said, I recommend approval for Power Equipment for $48,651.08.
Thanks, Craig. Stand by. Comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Chair, I move to approve in the amount not to exceed $48,651.08.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consideration to purchase, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
aye,
As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. Next item, please.
Number 25E, consideration to purchase between the city of Cheyenne and Meridian Rapid Defense Group LLC for the purchase of an anti-vehicle barrier and trailer system for the Community Recreation and Events Department.
Welcome back, Jason. Staff report.
Mr. Chair, Jason Sanchez, Community Rec and Events. I want to start off by letting you know that there was a typographical error in the name from the company that supplied the quote. The price stays the same. There's nothing different. They sold the Veterans Administration the same set, and they left their name accidentally in the quote. We talked to TJ. Nothing needs to be changed on our end. Just when they bill, they'll have the city of Cheyenne's name in the who they're sending it to. All the address, everything is correct. So is the price.
Okay.
The equipment we're asking for your consideration on are the Meridian barriers. I'm sure you've seen them over the last 4 years. We use them at every Friday night on the plaza and basically every event we host in the city. What they are is they're an 800-pound barrier, and we cable them together to close off streets and areas that we don't want vehicles to enter. It's a type of security that it's unfortunate we have to think about, but we have to be cognizant and take steps necessary to keep people from entering event space with vehicles. Again, we do utilize these year round for parades, for inaugurations, Fridays on the Plaza, Hispanic Fest, Brew Fest, Celtic Fest,
Pancake breakfast.
CFD parades and pancake breakfast. This third trailer, so we currently own 2 trailers and 16 barriers, which is great, but it doesn't give us enough barriers to do a full secure perimeter on all the streets that we need to close down for some of these big events. This third trailer will give us that capacity. The funding mechanism, again, 75,000 or 76,000 is ARPA funds. The balance of 14,000 will come for fifth penny equipment. And I'll stand by for questions.
Thanks, Jason. Comments or questions from members of the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve in the amount not to bid to exceed $90,115.98.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from the committee? comments or questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consideration to purchase, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As no one's opposed, that item moves forward. As there are no other items on the agenda today, I move to adjourn. I hope everybody has a very safe and a meaningful and blessed Christmas and holiday season, and we will see you all in 2023. Thank you.